All right. I am really excited about this video I am doing because I am very, very motivated by the ideal of living without a system in general. And that, of course, ties into living without money. So I wanted to do this video, and I probably will have a part two to this because I have so much to say. So I guess we'll start with money. So, for a long time now, I have been researching about the corrupt system, right? And the corrupt system, I'm not here to argue with people about what they think is corrupt and what they don't think is corrupt, etc., etc. But I'm going to go to somebody's page real quick because I want to reference a couple things. Where is he? There we go. Okay. I'm just going to go here real quick because we've got some stuff that's on here that's pretty quick. Okay. So, first things first is I'm going to start with how this all came to be and how we actually have not been living with money that long as we think. So, of course, when you go back into around 1933, 1920s era, you know that our United States became bankrupt. Well, a lot of people are finding out, and I've been knowing this for quite some time, about 4 years. I've been researching it off and on, and uh, long story short, to make it simple, is that around the time that the United States went bankrupt, they basically started to make you the collateral behind the dollar. So Nixon got into office and like 1970 or so, and he then put in the last final legislation where all the nations use the dollar, and basically that means, long story short, every human on this planet, in whatever country you are, you back your currency. You are the value. Money is just an ideal. It's a belief. If two people, it's like me going to Canada with $1. They're gonna laugh because that's not currency to them. Do you get where I'm going with this? So every country has their own currency, which is a made up belief. And if you think about it, they hold it higher than their family, their friends, and their own personal happiness. At every day, people complain about going to work and hating their job, but they do it because of the money. So it's been really, really bothering me because I have been thinking about what are we going to do to fix this society? What are we going to do to fix ourselves? What can I do to start being free? Because at this time, I can't really say I'm free because I'm trapped in a system where there's bills which force you to work, which then you are now taken away from your personal freedom. So let me try to get my thoughts together so this all makes sense. So basically, at this point in time, I have been trying to really contemplate on whether we are going to be saved or if we are going to save ourselves. Because when you look at everything from cures being there and our health being impacted, from chemtrails being sprayed, from fluoride being put in our water, to storms being created, to the list just goes on, to our plants being poisoned, to our grocery stores being commercialized, and from small owners, we no longer have our small businesses because we have these giant corporations, and the small businesses aren't thriving because all these big businesses have everything in them, and people go where it's convenient. And of course, a grocery store that is industrialized will have a lot cheaper products than mom and pop because mom and pop has to come out of pocket. Not only that, they have made it ridiculously hard for our generation to make our own businesses. If you look at the actual amount of money that you would have to put into making a business, and not only that, I have a really big problem on selling something that is not supposed to be sold. They didn't buy this land. They did not purchase this land from anybody. They did not go to any king and say, let me buy this earth and I'm going to sell it to these people. No, they took the land and now they're selling it to us, which was rightfully free to begin with. So let me get back on point because I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, so I've been really torn with, is there a savior? Or is the savior being said that we have to save ourselves? I'm still not sure on this, because here's my problem with us saving ourselves. If we have a large majority of people that want the system, they want to pay taxes, they want to go to work, they want to buy houses, they want to own businesses. They don't want the system to stop. They enjoy it, they thrive in it, and they're used to it. So what do we do if we have a group of people that want to be involved in the system and you have a group of people that don't? They divide. And I'm scared about that divinity, because that's where that control and conquer comes in. But you know what? I can't fight. I can't make anybody understand things that I've been researching and know for a fact. You know, people will argue me all day. Cancer isn't curable. I've seen it. I know it is. HIV isn't curable. I've seen it. I know it is. You know, HIV, AIDS, diabetes, it's not curable. Yes, it is. And I'm done arguing with people that want to argue about truth. Why aren't you happy these things are curable? Why aren't you excited that somebody is explaining these things to you? Why are you so profusely defending lies and calling the person that is bringing you information to help you? And I'm not even trying to sell you anything. That's the crazy part. They say, oh, what's curable? B17. You can go get some vitamins. It's cheaper than going to the doctor. They get mad. They get mad at me. So you rather go to your doctor that wants to sell you $1,000 crap that kills you, but get mad at me when I offer something to you that's a couple dollars that cures it. So the problem I have with saving ourselves is that there's been a system that's been created which people enjoy. They want to still be in there. And I think it's just a matter of, over time, I believe people will start to understand when they see more and more people being cured and seeing the information. And that's so ironic how they just recently passed that bill where in 2 months our internet here in America will be censored. So it's like, haha, isn't that funny? Because truth is real, and I don't mean a side of truth. I mean the ultimate truth of what's really going on here is getting out to a mass amount of people. And even if they take the internet away, information is energetic. So they can take internet all away all they want. The moment I think it's something, it's already gone to another person. And that's what they don't want you to understand, is the power of thought and action. Because once I think something and I start doing it, then somebody else might think it and start doing it. And when they start doing it, then the next step from there is other people observing. See, it's a consistent observation. And that is what will make change. Me arguing with people and trying to tell them this is truth, you're a liar, is not going to help. You want to know why? Because I'm telling them that they're wrong. They don't need to hear that. What they need to see and what they need to observe is people actually doing what they understand. Instead of just preaching it, do it. So getting back to this whole Savior program. So we have people that think that we're going to be saved. And we have people that think that we have to save ourselves. So let's kind of play with the ideal of somebody saving us. Here's my problems with that. Problem number one, we've been waiting for that for a very long time, and some really bad things has happened, and it's continuously getting really bad. At this point, we've had the Holocaust, we've had all these diseases, we've had all these deaths, and nobody but the people themselves has saved them from those situations or taken themselves away from that. People say, oh, well, grace of God has healed me, etc., etc., etc. Yes, but again, nobody physically came down and took you away from the situation. You still helped yourself in some way. God, source, whatever you want to call it, met you halfway. So let's say that we continue to wait for source, God, whatever you want to call it, to come back. Okay, well, right now they're ready to go to World War III. If World War III happens, they're going to use that as the whole stem cell to finalize this United Nations. and having the rest of that's why they're in war with Syria right now, is because Syria has their own government and it's not part of the UN. But anyways, that's part of another conversation. So Savior. So we sit here and wait, and we continue to see these things happen, and we are observing them. Oh, I feel bad for these people, etc., etc. Okay. So let's say that they do come. Excellent. I cannot wait. Whoever comes from the sky, all the same questions I ask every other single person. They're going to get no special treatment. I'm not going to feel any type of way. If I'm come from source of creation, and source creation knows the lies and the manipulation that's been going here on this planet, then they will completely understand questions and not having ultimate trust, because they're going to understand what we've gone through and how we've been manipulated when it comes to religions and et cetera, et cetera. So let's say that nobody's coming to save us, right? We have to save ourselves. So I pondered this one more, because this I have more control over. This I have more of an idea of what might happen. Because to be honest, when you research these books that says that we have a savior, those books has been manipulated, and so many people have so many different ideals, so it is what it is. It might happen, it may not. I'm not saying that I don't believe I come from a source of creation. I truly believe I come from a source of creation, an original source. But do I think that we will be saved by it? I'm not for sure. I cannot say that with the definite, because there's so much lies out here. So talking about saving ourselves. So here's like I was mentioning earlier, one of our first problems we come across is people wanting to protect the system and keep it. People that want to protect the system and keep it, and they want to continue the way that they've been living for 40, 50 years, because it's not going to be our generation as bad as the older generation, because the older generation has already been cracked on. They already had to deal with the stuff that was given to them. So they're going to fight harder for it, because they're the ones that have the stocks and the bonds. They're the ones that have the money in these corporations. They're the ones that have these savings accounts and banks. They're the ones that these elite are going to be taking the money from, not my generation, not people that's young. We don't have no money. We can barely get a job that pays a good amount of money. We're working for the people that is putting their money into the stocks that are about to be having their money taken away from, which is going to be quite an interesting scenario here in a couple months when we have financial martial law, which is going to happen. So at this point in time, so we have the ideal that we can save ourselves. That's fine. How will we save ourselves? Well, the beginning question is, what is the problem with the system now? It's a system. That's the problem. The system is trying to manipulate nature's system. Any system that is man-made, that has a hierarchy, is not nature. It is not part of original source of creation. That is our problem. Anytime you have a hierarchy, you have a slave. You have somebody that's not happy. You have somebody that is not getting what they want, because there's a hierarchy. Not only that, you have a hierarchy which has a separation of people. It is equal. If you want to, if me and another person is talking, I'm not going to trust them if they come up to me and say, oh yeah, I'm better than you. I'm above you. I'm your boss. That don't mean nothing to me. My bosses at work, that don't mean nothing to me. They are the same as me. that title means nothing to me, and I don't treat them any differently. I treat them the same exact way as I treat my coworkers that's on the same level, and I'm using air quotes here, the same level as me. They don't get any more better type of respect, and the moment that they have disrespectful comments to me, I'm going to treat them in the same exact way as I would a coworker. You don't get away with that just because of your title. That's that systematic BS that they've been giving people. So continuing. So, okay. Is the system. Like I said, the system, I believe, is a problem. I believe that is our biggest problem. The reason why that creates the problem is because the hierarchy. That's just one. If we have a group of people that's sitting around saying that I'm the judge, and then we have a group of people that sits around that says, I'm the people that serve after the judge. Then we have police officers. We have banks. You have people just sitting in these jobs. That's a problem. We are having pre-created jobs. Where is these pre-created jobs coming from? The system, banks, these corporations, these Fortune 500s. I don't care about working for Fortune 500s. You want to know why we care about working for Fortune 500s? Because these companies make the most money. They have the best job security. Why do they have the best job security? The system. Because they manipulate the industrial trade. Because they have more money than the little businesses. And guess what they do? They get insider trade secrets. Oh, but guess what? Those people that get called out on those insider trade secrets, they're not people that, they're being bad because we're not doing it. No, they fell through on the deal. They didn't hold up their end of the deal, so they got ratted on, and because it needs to be done, they'll do it. Because at the end of the day, nobody in a system that values money over people care about people. They do not care about your feelings, about what you think and what you do, because all they care about is money and how much they can get it and how much it can provide them. And you know what? I don't judge them, because if you think about everything, this system has created an environment in which, for you to fulfill your dreams and your destinies, you think you need a lot of money. But they make going and getting a house $30,000. Why is it $30,000 to live on land that's free? Why do I have to pay a water bill that the oceans is free and the water's free? They didn't have to pay for that. Why do I have to pay for electricity when there's free energy? Oh my goodness. This just keeps getting me angrier and angrier when I think about this stuff, because we have been forced in so many ways. And you know what? I don't feel bad for those that choose to want to do this. You know what? I don't feel bad at all. And I'm not going to argue with them, because they're going to want to do what they want to do to ultimately satisfy themselves. Fine. I'm not you, but you cannot control what I do. Vice versa. If you want to live in the system, live in the system. But don't tell me I can't go out living out in the woods if I don't want to. It's not going to be my problem if I can suffice off of no money and living off the system, and you do, and you have to be miserable every day. So, the system, living, helping ourselves. Okay. So let's say that we get rid of the system, right? We still have a problem. The problem is the mentality, the brain, and the personalities. Because the system has enforced external, what is the word? Praise. Oh, when we were growing up in school, we got A, B, C, D, E's, F's. Okay. Well, why did we have A, B, C, D's? Huh? What was that for? Why do we need something external telling us we did a good job, or to make us feel like we're working towards something? Because it's crap. That's why. Why are we, if there was no motivation to go to school, what's the point of going? And then when you look at the school and education, don't even get me started on that. When you research who makes these scholar books, and read what's in these books, it's a bunch of lies anyways. Whew. But then people want to argue because they've taught school for 40 years. That don't mean nothing. You're only as good as your teacher. So what is your teacher? Your scholar book, right? Did you ever research to see if that scholar book was actually telling you the truth? No, you had a belief that it did. Do you want to know why there was a belief that you trusted these college books? Because a college professor did it. How do you know you trust this college professor? Did you ever meet this college professor that did this book? Oh no, his credentials, he went to Harvard. Okay. Why do you trust Harvard? Why do you believe in Harvard? Why do you think Harvard is better than any other school out here? Why do you think that their education is any better than anybody else's? You want to know why it's considered better than other people? Because they give those people that go through those programs, those professors that do those books, you can research, and they're part of corporations. You can go back and you see they're on the board of education and blah, blah, blah. It is so deep. When I tell you, if you really want to understand what's going on, you have all the resources, go look. But people get so stuck up on one specific thing, like education. They'll study education for 8 years, and they'll find the genealogy of every professor that ever lied to us. What's the point of that? That's not going to help anything. You just spent 8 years of your life researching who lied to you, when you could have been researching what you could do to make yourself happier. And not only that, because you limit yourself to one area of the truth, you don't fully understand the wider picture. This is going to be a long video. I'm going to have to do 2 of these because it's already 20 minutes. Okay, so freeing ourselves. We get rid of the system. People are going to freak. Because think about it. How many people know how to grow their own food? How many people know how to grow their, make their own clothes? How many people know how to get water? How many people would love the ideal of not getting up and going to a job? There's people out here that really would hate the idea of not having work. But that starts with the mind. Again, do what you want to do. But just understand you can be free. That's not what where we started. I want to show you guys something real quick. I was researching the industrial era, okay? And it's this old 19 something video. Let me go. Oh, I thought this was on my feed. Hold on. And this video shows what they've been doing. And what I mean by that is that they were telling people, oh, go to this steel mine, building, okay? Because they're making so much money in this, and they had them in specific towns, okay? In specific towns, they were telling people they were moving and they were going to these city areas, okay? This is where it all started. This is where a lot of the problems began, is that this is where one of the last errors of where we're supposed to wake up, and our only worry is about today. What's happening today? Because when you start worrying about months from now, you start hoarding food, you start doing things that you get more of instead of just what you need. So let me go back to this steel thing real quick. Let me see if it's in here. It should be close enough for me to find it. I didn't realize I did so much posting. Where is... I know I shared it. Oh, real quick, this is amazing. You guys gotta do this. You just break it. I do it at home, and I use them, and they are fantastic. It's a brilliant idea. Sorry. Okay. Let me see. Oh, willpower. I think this is this it? No. What is this? Oh, no, this is my willpower thing from a long time ago. Oh, I'm too far back. Okay. I'm obviously having a hard time trying to find this video. This is what happens when you do 1 million pounds of research. It's here. It's gotta be, because this is August 21st, and I believe in the past couple weeks I found this old school video. Here we go. Department of Agriculture from Topsoil. So he has a whole bunch of really old school videos.
I'm Frederick Davis, Director of your Michigan State Police.
Where is it?
I'm Frederick Davis, Director.
British. Here we go. 1940 is when the Museum of Modern Art and Film, the people in this film are not actors. So I want you guys to watch this video because it's going to really help you understand what happened. Okay, what they did is they got all the men and everything to come out here, and they were like, oh yes, they have steel and they have these machines and they're making so much money, etc., etc. So they got these people moving out there. You know, the economy was boosting, booming. They were buying stuff, etc. And then all of a sudden, bam, these mills went down, lost all of the things that they had. There was that pool right there, right there. If you go back to this topsoil video, it talks about the topsoil and how it's destroyed by fire, messing up the vegetation and burning it, and how the topsoil is needed for our plants. And it's like everybody's job, and this was like early 1900s, and you can see that everybody understood the balance of nature. Nature was there for them. It wasn't the other way. We was in balance. It was not supposed to be unbalanced. We were supposed to be here to till the land, to produce our goods for ourselves, not mass produce, not agriculture our land, because it already naturally does that. This Roman Empire, this New World Order people was talking about, has been here a long time and has been deceiving people for a long time. It is not going to come. It's already here, and they're trying to finish it. They've already taken away your freedom. They've already given you money. They've already given you your politics. They've already given you all these systems that is part of this new world order crap. It's already there. It's happening. It's going to happen. No, it's already here. It's already here. And if you look around, I mean, what's the best way to have slaves is to make them think they're free, right? If you have prisoners, you're not gonna, and you want them to be slaves, you don't tell them they're slaves and prisoners. You make them feel like they're free. And then when some of them figure out that they're not free, you kill them. And that's what they've been doing up to this point, because now there's too many goddamn people that know that they're slaves and they're not really free. And that's why you have all these media blackouts right now. If you go research, there's countries right now irate with their government because they are tired of them being used and taken advantage of and suffer. And they're overthrowing their governments right now. And it's horrible what's happening because there's violence, which I do not condone. You know what the most important protest of the century would be? Nobody go to work. One day, nobody go to work. One day, nobody buy anything. I guarantee you this whole system would crash in just one day. Imagine a whole United States not going to work. The whole United States. It would kill the system right then and there because we are needed. You are the value. not this dollars, not this gold, not this euros, whatever your currency is. It's a thing. You are the value, because without you doing that work for that job, it doesn't matter. It's like you're giving them physical worth for credit. And that is the lie. That is the deceiving part right there, is that you are getting something equal exchange. There is no longer an equal exchange. There is no one for one anymore. That is gone. It's been gone since apparently 1930, 1920s, when the dollar collapsed and it was no longer backed by gold. And we are the ones that back it. And that's why you can look into the Social Security numbers and the birth certificates and our IDs all being a straw man. That's why your name is in all capitals on all of your bills, because they cannot bill you. They cannot charge you a goddamn dime of anything, because you are a human being, and the only thing that they can bill is a corporation. And that is why they called it your straw man. So, I haven't even got to the good part. This is how much explanation I have to do. So I will come back and I will do another video, and we're going to talk about what we can do and a little bit more of the struggle that I feel is we're going to continuously go through. And I'm going to have ongoing videos about my research, because my ultimate goal is to be free. I do not want to make money. I do not want to live with money. I do not want to live in the system. I'm done. I'm tired of it. I want my brothers and sisters on this earth to be free, because we have the right, and it is taken away from us. And like I said, I will do everything I can to remove this block. It is my will. It is my source of creation to find the ultimate truth, that I can free myself so I can teach others how to free themselves as well. And if I find that this whole ideal is lies and more manipulation, I will immediately address that. But at this point in time, from the ongoing research of years after years of being completely open-minded to many, many, many different theologies and theses on this, I think I've come to a good point in explaining this stuff. I'm not a person of exact details. I'm not a video editor. You know, if you're coming to my video for special effects and for something that's going to give you exact details, look for that in a movie. Go to a liar that cares about doing that stuff. My goal is to try to talk to you, explain my rationale, explain and show you as much as I can. I can't show you 8 years worth of information. If you want to know where I've gotten this, go through my post over the past couple years just on Google+, and you can get as much information as you want. Is all of the information in each post 100% truthful? No, because nothing is, because there's so much disinformation out there. And that's why I have so many articles, is because I have to search through so much info to find an inkling of truth. But what I have found is synchronization will always bring you to the ultimate truth, and you just have to have eyes and a heart and ears and a mouth to be able to receive it. And as long as you meet source of creation and life middle, it will bring you the rest of it, because your energy will pull it to you. And oh yeah, it's going to pull other things with it, because other things don't want you to know. But as long as you stay true to your intent, and that doesn't mean that you won't be fooled, because honey, there's lots of liars and users out here. But as long as your intent is to always keep asking yourself why, who, what, when, where, why. I remember growing up on that so much. My teacher consistently instilled that into us. And she said, always ask questions. Always ask questions. Not questions that they want you to ask, but ask questions that cause you to think. And you need to understand different levels of it. And you know what? If something doesn't make sense, don't throw it away. Put it to the side, because you never know. In a couple months, you may come across another piece of information that was missing from that puzzle, that now you can put two and two together and say, aha. All right, y'all. Much love. Next video coming up shortly. All right, bye.